and literature, and there are magical people who are great at sports and great at arts, but I was not one of those people. They had a double for me who could actually play volleyball. Hi, I'm Angourie Rice, and I'm getting up close with Cosmo. I loved the filming experience of Honor Society. One of my favorite memories, I think, would be filming all the stuff in the science lab with Gaten, because that was just fun. It was just a room full of kids, and we had practical effects with the things, but the things bubbling over, and that was really fun, and that was just fun to just hang out and chat. Gaten and I hung out while we weren't filming. At the start I was like, I think this is important for our characters, like if we get to know each other, and then we'll have the freedom to like play around in the scenes, and we became really great friends, and we watched Doctor Who together, and he brought his Switch over and we played Mario Kart, and my sister was there with me while filming as well, so we all became friends, and would play Mario Kart and eat cookies and just hang out. Well, we watched, because Gaten became a huge like Doctor Who fan, and so he was like educating me on it. He was like, sit down, watch this episode, this is important. so that was really fun. Well, it's not so hidden, but I can knit. that's the thing that I do. So I got into it over lockdown. I started knitting, and I can knit socks, and I can knit a jumper. Takes me a while, but yeah, that's what I was doing all throughout filming Honor Society. I was knitting socks, and I was knitting this like big jumper that I ended up finishing, and then I was like, it's summer, I can't wear it anymore. Most memorable, I think the time I was most starstruck was when I met Jodie Foster, because I look up to her so much. And I was so like, oh my gosh, it's Jodie Foster, and I wasn't expecting to meet her either. I think that's the other thing. I was like, oh my goodness. I was backstage at Graham Norton. I didn't go on Graham Norton, but this was during the Nice Guys press tour. Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe went on Graham Norton to promote it, and I got to tag along, which was so exciting. And I wasn't allowed in the theater because I was 15, and because they were serving alcohol or like drinking alcohol or something, like I wasn't allowed inside, but I could watch backstage. So I was sitting backstage, and I got to meet Jodie Foster, and I was just, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. So I will say that the best advice, well, on my very first movie, I was 11, and the best advice that I got, which is what every actor gets, is use it. And I was like, I remember complaining about being, tired and hungry and whatever. I was 11, so I was just whiny a little bit. And the advice I got was use it, which is great. Recently, actually, the first AD on Honor Society gave me some of the best advice I've ever heard, which is, if there's no solution, there's no problem. And I thought that was so clever and so interesting. She was like, if you can't find a way to solve it, then it's not a problem. We have to let it go. It's just the way things are. And I thought, wow, that's really clever. And she said that's been the key to her being a first AD. So I love that. I think I'm a lot like Honor. I think when I first played Betty Brant, I was a lot like Betty Brant, and then I kind of grew in a different kind of way. But yeah, I think Honor is, she's very close to my heart. I love working through a script and making annotations about, how the character's feeling and where they are in terms of their journey and all that sort of stuff. And I also like anything that's mentioned in the script, anything that the character listens to or watches or reads. Like, I like to kind of, look that up and look into it. So I watched a bit of Doctor Who for this, and I read The Handmaid's Tale, obviously, and yeah, that was, so I think it's just like little things like that. If there's any sort of media research I can do. I love that, you know, that's great homework, to just sit and read a book or watch a movie. Probably most likely to be ID'd at 30. I think I have a baby face, and I get ID'd everywhere I go. Which makes sense in America because I'm 21, but in Australia, where, yeah, I get ID'd all the time. I don't know if it's a surprise, but I'm not good at sports at all. That's probably not a surprise. I'm very into arts and literature, and there are magical people who are great at sports and great at arts, but I was not one of those people. I was not good at team sports. I only ever did like dance. I did a bit of gymnastics, but yeah, team sports like soccer and basketball, I was just atrocious. You know what, the day that we did karate and the day that we did volleyball were the two most stressful days of filming. I was like, I had stress dreams that we would spend the entire day filming that volleyball scene, which is like so short. I had stress dreams we'd spend the entire day doing it and they still wouldn't get the shot that they needed. But thankfully we did. And they had a double for me who could actually play volleyball. But I was very, very anxious about it. My advice for my high school self would be, don't stress as much, which, you know, that is the advice that I got. People were telling me, don't stress. Like in 2 years when this is all over, like you're not going to worry about it anymore and you're going to wish that you'd spent less energy on it. And I listened to that, but I did not take the advice to heart. And I was still like, oh my God, this is the most important thing ever. And, you know, it is important to a degree, but I definitely was like overly stressed in a way that I didn't need to be. So favorite way to spend a Saturday would be reading a good book, eating toast. On a Saturday morning, my dad always walks the dog to a bakery and gets good bread. So Saturday morning to me is like, toast, fresh bread. So yeah, reading a good book, taking the dog for a walk, sitting outside. I'm in LA at the moment, so I'm reading books set in LA. And there are two that I've read that I thought were fantastic. One of them was In a Lonely Place by Dorothy B. Hughes. It's a 1947 noir written by a woman, which was kind of rare at the time, and it's just noir crime set in LA, and I just loved it. And then I recently finished reading Southland by Nina Revoir, and it's also set in LA, set across many time periods, and it's about war and death and violence and love, and it's just kind of this epic family story set in LA. So I'm loving things that are set where I am right now because it's really cool to read about. I'd love to work with Greta Gerwig. I loved Lady Bird. I think she's such a cool and interesting director. I'd love to work with her. And in the same breath, like Saoirse Ronan, I love all of Saoirse Ronan's work. So to work with her would be super cool. I was thinking about this actually. My first instinct was no, but then I was thinking about it and I thought, I can tie shoelaces really fast. There's actually a particular technique that I learnt. It's different to the bunny loops or whatever. It's like a different kind of way of tying shoelaces, and that it's done like that. Very niche and not that exciting because it's like over and then it's like, well, that's it. My dream role would be something. Well, I love a good period drama. I feel like everyone says that, but I do really love that. And anything with sort of practical effects or puppetry. I love the movie Labyrinth. I think I also love the Muppets. I think that kind of artistry with puppetry is just beautiful and it looks timeless. It ages so well because it's a practical effect. So anything like that I love. Like I did an episode of Black Mirror and we had an actual robot that would like wheel around and its eyes would light up and its arms would move and its head would turn. And that to me was just so exciting, to actually interact with something practical and real and tangible. Thank you so much for watching. Catch Honor Society on Paramount Plus.